Hey everyone, good morning. I am Priyanshu Iqbal and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now we are going to see first question of today's Beat Code Weekly Contest 452, which is partition array into two equal product subsets. Okay, so let's see what is this question and how we can solve it. So in this question, we are given an integer array nums containing distinct positive integers and an integer target. And you need to determine if you can partition nums into two non-empty disjoint subsets with each element belonging to exactly one subset, such that the product of the elements in each subset is equal to target. Okay, and you need to return true if such a partition exists and false otherwise. And a subset of an array is a selection of elements of the array. Okay, so what you have been given in the question is an integer array nums containing positive integers and the target, and you need to divide the elements of the nums into two subsets such that the product of elements in each subset is equal to the target, and the subset should be non-empty. It doesn't mean that you can create one empty subset and one subset with some elements. No, the subset should be non-empty. Okay, and you need to return true if there are such two subsets exist, and you need to return false otherwise. Okay, what is a subset? Let's say if you have given some array like this A, B, C. So A can be one subset, B can be one subset, C can be one subset, A, B can be one subset, A, B, C can also be one subset. But in this you have been given the non-empty disjoint subset. Disjoint means a element should occur only one in a one subset, right? Three can occur only in one subset among these two, not in both of them. Okay, so you need to find whether you can divide these elements in such two subsets or not. Okay, so it means you have two possible ways, right? You have one with this and one with this. Either you can multiply 3 to this or 3 in this, right? Either you can give one to this subset or one to this subset, right? So basically what you need to do, you need to find one subset from this which have the product as 24, which have the product as target. Okay, but how we will make sure that another subset will also have the product as 24? Okay, we can make sure in the way that the product of all the elements of this nums should be equals to target into target, right? If it is not equals to target into target, it means we can't divide these elements into subsets and we will return false. Because obviously, if one subset has a product target as it is given in the question, like each subset should have product equal to target, and another subset should also have a product as target, right? And no elements are common in these subsets. Every element of this integer array is occurring once in only one subset. So the product of all the elements should be target into target, right? Only then it is possible to divide these elements into non-empty disjoint subsets. Okay, so we can find out the product of all the elements and see if it is not equal to target into target, then we will simply return false, because in that condition it is not possible to divide these elements into non-empty disjoint subsets. Okay, so we can make sure that if one element has a product equal to target, then obviously other subset is also going to have a product is equal to target, because the product of all the elements is equal to target into target. So we can find out one subset which have a product as target. Okay, so how we can find out? So we can see for every number we have two choices. Either we can take that element or we cannot take that element in that subset, right? And we can keep on doing the product of that subset, product of those integers in that subset, right? And if the product is greater than target, then we will simply return false, and if product is equal to target, then we will simply return true. Okay, let's see. So let's say you have these integers and you need to find a subset with product of elements equals to target. So let's say you will take 3 and you will not take 3. So there are two conditions. You will take 3, you will not take 3, right? So let's say if you will take 3, then the product will be 3, and if you will not take, then it will be 1, obviously. Now we are at this in element 1. You have two choices, either you can take one or not take one. So if you will take one, then the product will become 3 into 1. If you will not take one, then it will remain 3. If you will take one, then it will be 1 into 1. If you will not take, it will be 1. Okay, now you can check whether product is equals to target. No. Okay, let's move on. Now for 6, you have also two choices. You can take 6 or not take 6. So if you will take 6, then it will become this. If you will not take 6, then it will become this. In this way, you can do this for all the cases. Now again, you can check whether the product is equals to target. No. Okay, now we are at this element. For this also you have two choices, either you can take it, not take, not take. Okay, so we can keep doing this thing. Oh, we have got our product as 24 here. Oh, it means, yeah, in this array, there is one subset which have product is equals to 24. Okay, so we can simply return true at this point, obviously. And we know that the product of all the elements is target into target. And if one subset occurs with product as target, then obviously there exists another subset as well which has product as target. So it means we can simply return true, right? So what we have done in this question is that we will first calculate the product of all the elements. And if it is not equals to target into target, then we will simply return false. Because then we can't divide these elements into two non-empty disjoint subsets, right? And then we will check for each element. Either we can take it or not take it. And at the point when we will get our product as target, then we will simply return true, right? Okay, so let's try code this. So what we need to do first, let's say the target can be up to 10 to the power 15. So let's say we will define our int 128 as LS so that we can cover these cases of when target is so large. Okay, so let's declare our total as 1, which is the total product. So let's initialize I is less than n, I plus plus. Let's also initialize I, n as nums dot size. And let's calculate our total, which is total into nums of I. And if total, it will be LL, we need to convert it. And if total is not equals to target into target, let me also convert this to LL. Yeah. Then what we will do, we will simply return false. Otherwise, we will implement a solve function. So from index 0, nums, target, and initially our product is 1. Okay, now we will implement this function bool solve int I, vector, int nums, long target, long L product, not long, it is not, it is just greater than that as well. So we will initialize, let's say, our n as nums dot size, and if I is greater than or equals to n, or our product is greater than target, then what we will do, we will simply return false. And if our product is equals to target, then what we will do, we will return true. So these are our base conditions. Now we have two choices, either we can take that number or not take. So if we will take, then our product will become product into nums of I. And if we will not take, then it will not get updated. Simply we will just move on to the next number. So product will remain as product. If any of these iteration or any of these condition returns true, then we will return true. That's why we have implemented or in between them, because we just need to get the one case in which the product is equals to target. As in this case, we got one case product is in which product is equals to target. So we are just waiting for one case. So if we got any one of them case as true, so we will simply return true. Okay, let's try run this. Yeah, it's working fine. Let's try submitting it. Yeah, it's working fine. So now let's talk about its time and space complexities as well. So as you can see, we have n choices. We have n integers, right? And for every integer, we have two choices. So its overall time complexity will be 2 to the power n, and the space complexity will be the recursive stack space. And this 2 to the power n complexity will work because the constraints are very low in the question. Okay, so this is quite good enough for this question, and you can also solve this question with the help of bit masking, but the time complexity will remain same. It's just the case that you can reduce this stack space complexity. So I'm not going to explain that approach in this video, but if you want to understand this approach as well, then do let me know in the comment section. So yeah, that's it for this question. I hope you get it, and if you still have any doubts, then you can post in the comment section. I will surely try to answer them. Till then, bye guys, see you in the next video.